Welcome to another episode of Sportscast Jersey. Today we are joined by Jets co-captain Rosie Tonner.
Netball kind of always was my favourite, even from a young age. And we did kind of youth netball through Accies, and then as I got up to seniors, I kind of moved into convent. My first game when I actually came on was against Team Bath in Jersey, so it was in Lizor, and we all owe so much to her for the opportunity she's given us of helping Jets to even exist. None of it would have happened without Linda, and we were all just like, how the hell did we just do that?
Yeah.
So we're hoping if we can get into Prem, that's already one of our goals ticked.
Welcome to another episode of Sportscast Jersey. Today we are joined by Jets co-captain Rosie Tonner. How are you doing, Rosie?
Hey, yeah, I'm good, thank you. How are you doing, Dan?
Good. Yeah, not bad, thanks.
Good.
I guess the first question, as I always usually do, is ask if you've always been sporty. Has that been there since a young age?
Yeah, no, it has been. I think when I was in primary school, I got involved in pretty much every sport there was possible. So obviously netball, but kind of football, athletics, rounders, whatever there was, I always got involved in it. But netball kind of always was my favourite, even from a young age.
Yeah, who kind of got you into netball, and what are your kind of first memories?
Well, I got into it in primary school, but my sisters always say, I've got two older sisters, and they always say, "Oh, you always pick in the middle." So they were like, "We got you involved in netball because of that." But no, I started it in primary school, I think in like year 5 or 6, and then so at Accies actually, Danny Simon, I think we must have been playing St. Peter's or something, and she was their coach for the school, and she invited me up to Accies, and that's kind of how I carried on playing through the club level as well.
Yeah, and growing up in Jersey, what were kind of the opportunities you say about Accies, and was there league action all the way up through your youth years?
Yeah, we did kind of youth netball through Accies, and then as I got up to seniors, I kind of moved into convent. So, Danny was my coach for Accies, and then I got into Jersey under 11s when I was in primary school as well. And the coach at that time was Jackie Nelson, who's still coaching now, and Evelyn, who's kind of still kind of involved in netball, but not so much anymore. So that's how I kind of got into it, and then just kind of kept going up the age groups.
Yeah, I was going to touch on this anyway, but with the other week with the inter-inches, all the youngsters playing, did that bring back memories?
Oh, it did. It did. It was so nice to see it still. It's such a traditional weekend, and pretty much everybody in the senior team was always was a youngster at that point as well. Previously, so that all of us were like, "Oh, I remember when I was in under 11s or under 12s," and it brings back so many good memories, and it's so good to watch them because you know that they're going to be the future Jets and the future Jersey team. So yeah, it was a lovely weekend.
Yeah, it was really good, and the atmosphere was amazing. Um, let's start with Jets, and what are your first kind of memories of playing for Jets or Jets being introduced?
Yeah, I remember Linda inviting me. I think it was after a Jersey and Guernsey game, I think actually, and then she invited me up to Jets training, which was quite scary at first when you're quite young coming up to the training, and then I got invited to come sit on the bench for some of the games and kind of watch the more senior players, and then eventually got kind of my first call up onto the team and things like that. So yeah, I remember it so clearly. I think my first game when I actually came on was against Team Bath in Jersey, so it was in Lizorms, but I think we were still in the regional league at that point. But yeah, I remember it very clearly, and yeah, it was good memories back then.
Yeah, who were kind of the older, more experienced players when you were growing up and first getting into the team?
So the kind of the main players at the time was Sophie Holmes and Lindsay Pittman were shooters, and also Laura Bellham. And I was a kind of goal shooter, goal attack at that point. So I was always watching them and kind of sitting on the bench, watching what they were doing, and then waiting for my opportunity. But yeah, it was a fantastic team at that point. I think when I very first started, there was such a solid team of players who kind of had grown up together through the league, the age groups as well. So yeah, it was nice to kind of get involved in that environment.
Yeah, for sure. And how nervous was that first game for you?
Yeah, I think because I'd been on the bench and not had much game time, I wasn't expecting it. And Linda was like, right, come on, you're on. And I was like, oh, okay. And I kind of just got thrown into it, which is, I suppose, a good thing because you didn't overthink it. And you don't really have much fear when you're young as well. So you just kind of go on and play. Whereas when you're a bit older, you start to think about it a bit more. So no, I remember obviously being a little bit nervous, but just really enjoying it as well. And
Yeah,
the encouragement from the more senior players was really nice.
yeah, exactly. And you mentioned Linda. How influential has she been, and how massive is she for not only you but the whole of Jersey Netball and all the players?
Yeah, I think when you think of Jersey netball, you just think of Linda. She's just always been there. If anybody's memories of netball, it's always been Linda. And she's given pretty much her whole life to Jersey netball. And we all owe so much to her for, the opportunity she's given us of helping, Jets to even exist. None of it would have happened without Linda. So she's given back so much. And she thoroughly deserves her retirement that's coming up. And we couldn't think of a better person to actually start taking over the netball than Serena.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We'll touch on Serena later, but going back over the years of Jets and the games she played, are there like one or two that stand out to you as favorite memories?
Yeah, so obviously the Prem playoffs when we very first started to go to Prem, that was a really good memory of actually finally getting into the league, and also the Prem 2 playoffs. So all of those were always really great memories. But in terms of my favorite kind of memory of a game, it was a game at home against Team Bath, who were top of the league of Prem 2. We were bottom of the league, and so they were very much the favourites. But it was a home game, and we ended up winning by 1 in the very last second. And that was just the kind of the atmosphere was just so good. This crowd helped us get over the line for that game. And I remember Becca Forrest scoring in the very last second. And we were all just like, how the hell did we just do that?
Yeah,
Yeah, that was probably my favorite game I've played, because everyone just played so well as well. It wasn't expected. And we just went out there and, you know, because we weren't expecting to win, I don't think we ever thought what we were doing again. And we just got on and did our job. And yeah, that was a really great game.
yeah, amazing. You mentioned the atmosphere in the home crowd. How much do you miss playing in front of that home crowd?
So much. I think it is tough for us because at the moment in the league we're in, we're having to go away and play 2 games every weekend, even though one of them is classed as our home game when actually it's not. We're having to travel, and it does take quite a lot. A lot of the girls have kids, and obviously we all work full time as well, so it takes up a lot of our time and our commitment as well. So those home games are always nice, just obviously not for the travel, but also to have our home crowd there. And we've got so many people that love netball over on the island and are supporting us from afar, but actually having them able to watch the games, I think we really appreciated when we went back to kind of the Interinsular a few weeks ago. Having them all back there and having them supporting us was so nice. And I think if we can get into Prem, but we've got the playoffs coming up, if we can get that again, it'll just be so good for Jersey netball, and also inspire some of the younger ones as well. So they can see what they can actually strive towards when they get to the senior level.
Yeah, absolutely. And you touch on the two games a weekend, kind of the way it is at the moment. Just
Mm.
how hard is that physically as well? The resting up the Saturday night and then going again on the Sunday.
Yeah, it is tough. And we started to get used to it near the end of the season, but the losses we did have, I think, very much came from that tiredness and lack of fitness. I think they came probably the first half of the season, and then we started to get used to that the second half of the season. But it does take a lot, but I think it will come in our favour when it comes to playoffs. Obviously, we've got the 4 games in close succession, so it's not ideal. It is tough on the bodies, but we've got a really strong squad. So even if we have some tired legs from the other Saturday, you know, our bench can come on and do a job as well. So it does really help. But yeah, it is tough. And having those home games will mean that we only play one game a weekend as well, which will help.
Yeah, for sure. And you say about the fitness, I'm going to touch on Strive, and obviously you train there as well. I've talked to loads of people who train there. How good has that been?
So good. I think it really professionalizes the sport and what we're doing. And we've got state of the art, you know, equipment, state of the art coaches, and it's nice that you know you see all the other teams up there as well. So I think before we get there, the Bulls have come. I've been in there. Then when we finish, I think it's archery that come in. So you get to see all the other sports there as well. It's just a really good hub for everybody that gets involved in sport on the island to go to. So yeah, it's been really nice, and also we don't just use the gym. We've also got upstairs where we can do video analysis and stuff like that as well. So as I say, it definitely professionalizes the way that you know we run our training sessions now.
Yeah, it's been a good factor and improvement for Jersey sport, I think. You talked about physio there, and I'll go back to the away games. How good has it been to have the stream option for your friends and family to watch the games?
Yeah, I mean, it's not worked quite as we would want it to. I think the way the VO is, it doesn't, the connection's not great when we're in the sports hall, so it's not always worked. But when
Yeah,
it has done, yeah, it's been really good. We've had people able to watch us live, which has been so nice for the supporters that aren't able to travel over with us. But it's also really good for us to watch the games back as well and see where we went wrong and improve for next time. So yeah, that's been really good.
yeah, definitely. Just looking back at this season, then obviously you've made the playoffs, but how do you reflect on the season that's just gone and the league campaign? How's it gone, and how much are you looking forward to the playoffs as well?
Yeah, it's been a really, really good season for us. I think we've struggled the past few seasons with rebuilding. You know, we had lots of people leave, and you know, over the last maybe 4 or 5 years, we've kind of rebuilt our team, and now we've finally got you know those combinations back. And this year we've really gelled as a team. You know, not just on the court but also off the court as well. So yeah, it's been a really good season for us. I think we come second in the league, which means that we can go to playoffs. The team that won Premier Romans, they've already got a team in Prem, which means they can't go to
Uh,
playoffs to get into them again because you can only have one team in the Premier League at a time. So yeah, I think we beat Premier Romans both times that we played them, so we know that we're capable of beating any team in our league. So it gives us real confidence going into the playoffs.
yeah, and you talked about the rebuild and new players over the years. Who kind of has stood out as like the best kind of players that you've played with?
Yeah, obviously JC Brown, she's my fellow co-captain, but she's a real leader. She's been there, you know, since Jets has started as well. And she's again, when you think of Jets, you think of JC as well. She's very much been involved in it from the start. Lauren Devine, again, she was the previous captain years ago when we went up to Prem 3 and Prem 2. She went off and had 2 children, and now she's back as well, which has really helped you know, have that leadership in the team as well. Emily Sumner, one of our shooters, she's back as well after having a baby. But I think another player such as Leah Griffin, she's been there, you know, whilst we've been rebuilding. And for the player she was, you know, 4 years ago to now, it's just she's improved so much, and now she's a real key player for us. And it's been amazing to see her grow into the player she is now.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned you were co-captain. How much of a privilege is it to be captain, and how much do you enjoy the role?
Yeah, it's a massive privilege, and I think me and JC both bring different things to the role. You know, she's a real leader, she really has that presence on court, and I've kind of got that maybe more quiet side to me, and I'm quite, you know, I've been one of those junior players that hasn't got much court time, so I kind of really feel like I've got a good relationship with those younger ones and help bring them in and embed them into the squad. So we've kind of both got quite different roles within our captaincy, and it really works well.
Yeah, good stuff. And talking about leadership, we've touched on Serena. How good has it been to have her back this season, and
Oh,
how
it's
how
actually
how much has
amazing.
she
Yeah.
how much has she helps not only you but like the younger guys coming through as well?
Yeah, I think since she's come into, her full coaching role, you can just see how everybody has just uplifted their training, and the younger ones as well. You can see how inspired they are and how much they've lifted in terms of their training as well. So it's just we're so lucky to have someone who was England captain now as our kind of head coach, and even just in the short space of time she's come back from her maternity leave, she's really some of the stuff that she tells us is just, it's really basic, but stuff that we've never thought of before. And she just brings a different way of coaching, which is so nice. And I think it's something that we really need if we want to get into the Premier League going forwards.
Yeah, and how like she must take the not like you say the knowledge of the game is she has she must be next level.
Yeah, absolutely next level. And I think she's really made us think about different things that we've never thought of before. And her experiences, I think, everybody obviously respects everything she's going to say. Everybody listens, and yeah, she's just been an amazing coach so far, and I can't wait to see how we develop under her leadership. And it's just such an exciting opportunity for all of us, and we really, really feel grateful to have her.
Definitely. How much are you looking forward to the playoffs? Then they're obviously massive for the club, and how when are they for people who don't know, and how can people support as well?
Yeah, I am so excited. I feel like I've been waiting for this for a couple of years now. And I feel like we've really got the squad that can do it. So I'm so excited for it. It is on the 21st and 22nd of April. And it involves 4 games. So we get put into there's 12 teams, and you get put into 3 different groups. One of those teams will be somebody from the one of the teams from the Premier League. So the bottom 3 from the Premier League go down to the playoffs, and then the top of all the other regions will also go to playoffs. So yeah, as I say, there's 4 in each group. You play one of the Premier League teams, and then you play 2 of the other regional top teams. And the top 1 and top 2 of those 4 games will then go to the final game. And so that final game is the only one that actually means anything, because if you lose that, you don't go up. But if you win that, then you go up. So a bit complicated, but basically we've got 2 games on the Saturday, then hopefully 2 games on the Sunday. And if we win those, we'll get up to the Premier League.
Exciting times, exciting times. Um, Final kind of questions. Um, what what are the club's goals for the future?
So we're hoping if we can get into Prem, that's already one of our goals ticked. The other side is, for the more maybe the up and coming players, so some of the under 16s and also our training partners, and they're going into a seeding tournament in May to try and get into the regional League 3, which would just be amazing, because they've trained with us all year, but those players that don't necessarily get into that final 10 of the people that travel, they have no competition all year. So this will allow them to have that off-island competition and really help them to, get themselves into that more senior squad, rather than coming straight from under 16s into, the senior squad. They have that middle level that they can
Yeah,
build in. So we're hoping that we can then get 2 squads, one in the Prem and one in Regional 3. So that is the goal. So hopefully the girls can get through into that seeding tournament in May, and then that will help us to have those people coming up.
yeah, that'd be amazing. And how if you get promoted, do you get the home games?
Yeah, yeah, so it would mean 9 home games and 9 away games.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure where they will be played at the moment, in terms of, obviously, I don't know if they'll be at Les Ormes or if we'll get the fort back. I think we're still kind of finding out where those would take place. But to have the home games again would be a massive bonus for us. The regional girls, if they get to Regional 3, they would be off island. But yeah, it would be really nice for us to have those home games again.
yeah, definitely. Final question: what are your goals? Are you just aiming to play for as long as you can?
Yeah, I think I've kind of I'm 28 now, so I've not got, years and years and years left. But yeah, for me, I'd like to get back into the Prem, and finish playing my netball career at the top level I can. So yeah, if we can get back into the Prem, then the sky's the limit. We can see where we get to, and yeah, personal goal, just keep enjoying what I'm doing and enjoying playing netball.
Definitely. Thanks for coming on today, Rosie. It's been really good.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Brilliant. That was another episode of Sportscast Jersey. A new episode is coming soon.